We're on. We're live. How's it going, guys? Welcome in. It's Mike and Wine here, aka Gundamonium Works, and this is part 7 of the Old to Gold competition entry, and I hope I can get it done. Last week I ran into a little bit of a snafu, and we talked about that, and it had to do with the waist section where the legs attach to the hips, and it was glued in place wrong. Anyway, so I've solved it. I'll go into that in a minute here, and we'll talk about that as soon as we get some people on. But this is primarily going to be everybody's favorite task, and that's masking. Today's going to be nothing but masking, doing some final seam checks. I got the legs all assembled. Last week I still needed to glue some stuff together and address some pretty big seams on those, but that's done. I've also done my final few waves of primer. So last night I actually finished the seams, shot them with some primer, had to go back, fix it again, primed again, fix it again. So you keep doing that until you get the process done right. Anyway, we are in. So if you're in the room, chime on in the chat. Welcome in, everybody. And let's get going down here. I'll bring it down to just this look for a sec here, and we'll see where we're at. So everything is assembled as far as the basic sections of this whole project. I got the torso, everything's put together. Now I'm starting to put the paint down. I basically have 2 weeks from yesterday to finish this kit in time for the contest. So I'm hoping I can get it done. We're doing pretty good so far, but I've got another busy weekend. I got to go down to Portland for some training at the end of the week. It's just all these things are sucking up time that I need to do this project. But hey, what's up, Nick? Ooh, Nick, you should be taking care of your new baby, right? Congratulations, as always. With that, I appreciate you being here. I know you got a busy life too going on right now. So let's talk about what happened last week. And I'm going to go in a little bit closer here. And we were dealing with this piece, the lower torso, the crotch region, as you would call it. This is the section where the legs come inside here. And it was discovered that these do not need to be extended. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to fix that. So what I did was I went out and bought another kit. So I got another kit, except this is the official Orgus Series 1, not the Revell version, but it's the same exact mold, the same exact print. Hey, what's up, Giovanni? How you doing, man? And I'm home with the toddler, working on getting her down for the night. Okay, cool. Well, the toddler, that's the older one, right? Yeah. The newborn is still probably with mom, but anyway. So what I did is I ended up picking up another kit just so I could replace that section, and I can use this one now for that kit. So here is the new one, and this is also primed and painted, but as you can see, these leg sections are now fully, not fully retracted, but they're 90%, 99% inside instead of sticking way out here. So now the legs should attach in a better position, and I've gone ahead and put the base color brown down on this already, and did all that basically yesterday. The other thing I did yesterday was, if you remember, if you were here last week, been a couple weeks, Giovanni says, "That don't worry about it, Giovanni. Anytime you can chime in, it's much appreciated." So glad to have you. So anyway, last week I was talking about attaching these outer sections that would normally swivel for the variable versions of the kit like this, but because I'm going to be posing this in a static pose, there's no reason for me to leave that open. And then the other thing was I going to address the seam that went around all the way around the back, just because if it's not going to move, do I leave that seam there, because technically there would be one, but I decided to go with the anime look of it because I'm going to be painting this in an anime paint scheme. So I decided to seal that seam up all the way around. This will be masked off and painted too. So then both legs are the same. Both this big seam here, that's all done. Also down the middle. There was actually two then, because you got one down the center of the leg and then one over here. and then this one, of course, down here, and the center of the back of the leg. Now, this was that one knee joint that kind of came apart on me. That's going to have to stay the same the way it is until later. So this is all masked off. I will put down the black striping first. Then I'll mask that off, since that's very easy, just to run a piece of tape all the way around each one of these legs, because these recessed areas will be done in black. Okay, so that will be done. Then I can put the white down. Same with that, and same with the arms here. So if you're looking at this one, I actually finished masking this one off. The top part is painted in the brown, as well as the wrist here. The hands are also done. I took the hands off so I could paint them easier. So I'll be masking all that off to kind of look like this. So then it's ready to do the same. I'll put the black down here first, and then go with the white. Also paint the white here. Then I have to mask that off and do the front section in red. So that still needs to be done. Let's see. I got to mask the head. Also put down base colors for the back portion here. So this will be masked off. The rest will be white. This will be white in here. But I did discover through getting the Orgus version of this kit, the EMI version, I should say, of this kit, it has a more accurate paint scheme on the box, as well as some of the provided decal sheets, how to transform everything, the provided color chart. I mean, this is way more. I actually like these instructions better. They're not only more clear and legible, but they have more information than what was provided with the Revell kit. But as you see here with those leg portions, you can see the black striping here. That's going to be laid down first because that's recessed. It's just easier to paint that first. Then I can mask that off right in the groove and go ahead and paint over the white on that. And then I've got some more detail work to do, like these little vents on the side. Same with the legs. There's a lot of little detail work that's going to probably have to be done either by hand or with a lot of careful masking. So it's nobody's favorite chore, masking hell, but that's where we're at. And also the front torso here. This is also, I also put the base color down for that. I discovered this. I thought this was going to be white, but it's actually brown, according to the EMI version. And then this is also brown right here. So I'm going to have to mask all this off. This will all be white, be the red stripe across the chest. And then we can start assembling everything and going into doing panel lining. And once I'm finally done with that, then I can flat coat it and start doing the anime shading on it. That is going to take some time. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make the deadline. I'm going to keep trying here. Like I said, I got about, I think, 10 working days that I can actually sit down and work on this. So being after work or on the weekends. I'll only have part of Saturday and all of Sunday this weekend to work on this. So I'm going to keep trudging along. And things move pretty fast as you get closer and closer. So I'm hoping that it seems like a lot I've got left, but I think I'm probably a lot closer than I feel. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get going. Start doing some masking. Masking fun. No, it isn't. Not really. It's not fun at all. But I'll do the same thing I did with the other arm. I'm just going to start at the elbow. Kind of got, I nicked that with it. I'm going to touch that up. I must have nicked it when I rotated the elbow around. Oh well, no big deal. So I got my little God Hand glass masking cutting mat. I like it. Works really well. I don't like cutting on the cutting mat. I used to do that, but it just dulls the blade so much quicker, and then also, you get just endless amount of cuts and grooves on your cutting mat. So this works out better for me. I'm just starting out with I'm cutting these into 10 millimeter wide pieces, but then I'm also halving that. I'm actually doing 5 millimeter strips. The tape itself is about 18 millimeters wide, It's not quite full 20, but it doesn't need to be. But it's one of my go-to sizes because I can always trim it down like I'm doing now. Just instead of cutting it, 10 millimeters wide or however wide you want. You can just this was nice about the mat is because it has these little increments already built into the glass, so you can see just exactly how wide you're cutting it. I'm going to turn my fan down. This stupid thing, I tell you. One of the chains, the actual speed chain for my ceiling fan, starts to get into a rhythm as the fan goes around. And it starts swinging, and then pretty soon it starts making noise, and that just gets annoying. So turn it down to speed. That's the only way to fix that. All right. Oops, I wanted to turn that. There we go. Let's do it that way. Yeah, you're in Texas, so it's about that toddler's bedtime anyway. So the other one's what, 2 then? Is that if I remember right? 2-year-old. Ah, crap. Screw that up. There we go. Trying to cover every inch of this. I mean, I'll put it in a position where when I go to paint, that it won't, any of these, if there is a possibility of an exposed edge, it'll be covered up completely. There we go. It's getting close. It'll be 2 in January. Oh, okay. So I was a little bit further ahead than I thought. Cool deal. Yeah, I'm done raising kids, though. I'll tell you, had my fair share. We've got a total of 4 if you count my previous as well as hers. And that's enough. And they're all grown. The oldest, or the youngest, excuse me, is 26 now. So she's well on her way. The rest of them are in their 30s. Or actually, I think our oldest is over 40 now. If I remember right. So I was fortunate enough to go to Metallica concert for 2 days on Friday and Sunday. And boy, what a concert. 2 great sets. 30 songs, 15 a day, 15 songs a day. Just unreal. And gosh, the second one was even better than the first. was a great concert. So my wife and I spent a few days down in Seattle. Stayed at my daughter's place. Showing that age. You talking about my kid's age or that I went to a Metallica concert? Hey, either way, it's fine. So I'm gonna leave that there for a second. Showing that age. Probably you're talking about kids. Yeah, I'm old. I'm not gonna lie. All old in this house. It's all right. Getting close to retirement. My wife is older than me, and she is officially retired now, so lucky for her. I still got a ways to go. Talking about how old your kids are. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're. I mean, what really gets me, it's not my kids. It's when I see other people's kids that are full-grown adults now. I mean, we were Taekwondo instructors for a lot of years, and we taught some of these kids that were, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and now all of a sudden we see stuff on Facebook like they're just turning 25 years old or 20, 21 or something like that. It's like, oh my God, that makes you feel old when you used to teach a kid that was just a young one in grade school, and then now they're talking to you like they got some deep voice. How's it going? Good God. George is in. What's happening, George? Welcome as always. So, what you might have missed was this was the old one, right? I have since then opened the box of this new kit, which I brought up here a minute ago. This is the EMI version, but might as well be the same exact kit. The interesting thing about that too is that the Orgus kit says it's a 1/40th scale, whereas the Revell says it's a 1/38, which makes no sense. So here's the new one, and now we have these leg pieces retracted here, so I should be able to assemble this without it looking funny. So right now I've laid down most of the primary color. I'm just masking off stuff, getting ready for the second color. I did all the brown mostly on a lot of the parts, and now we're minty fresh. It's not bad. Yeah, the box isn't too bad. It was a little banged up. I mean, if you flip it over, like there was a bit of a crease here in the corner, but really not bad at all. And another funny thing here is that they show this version here with these crazy looking little, some kind of missile pod hanging out that, but those aren't even included in the kit. It's got to be something for the series, but yeah, looking at this, I had to open some of the runners up, but I got a fresh new decal sheet now, which is, it's still a little bit yellow, but the other one was pretty bad. The cool part about this too is it's got some screenshots in here and some original artwork, and then some of the other kits you can get as well. But what I thought was kind of cool was stapled inside the box is this. I mean, this is how they used to do it. They used to have all your metal parts in the little trays over here, and a few of the other cool things. But essentially, it's exactly the same. There's really no difference. The runner numbers, everything is identical. So all I did was pop off the parts that I needed to fix that, and then got back. Hey, Tom's in. How you doing, Tom? Looks great, Mike. Thanks, George. Tom's in. Geo looks like freshly painted box. No, it's not. It's an old one. In fact, let me see if there's a date code on this one. I know the Revell one said 1984. Let's see if I can find a date on this one. It's got a box art. It's all in Japanese, so I might have to use a translate to figure it out. But no, I don't see it. Don't see it anywhere on the box unless it's written in Japanese, which it might be. But safety standard, a lot of old information that we don't even use anymore. Yeah, I'll have to see it translated later. It's probably got to be around the same time though. But Papa Nick, that's right. Nick's got a brand new one at home. So we're doing everybody's favorite thing tonight, and we're just masking. I finished filling all the seams on the legs here. In fact, I could show this again too, George. So I did glue these side pieces on. These were the ones that were typically supposed to swivel for the transforming part of it, but because we're not doing that, so I masked off the knee here. That's also in brown. This will be done in white. The rest will be done in white, but fixed all those seams, fixed down the seams down the middle, everything back here. So both legs are done. I finished those last night after about 3 or 4 waves of primer until I finally got it right, because there was seams were kind of a pain. They didn't want to go away. It's just like the legs were probably the worst fitting part of this entire kit. Everything else has kind of gone together fairly well considering its age, but the legs were by far the worst. I had nothing, only one of them really lined up well. The rest, the other side was just, I mean, you saw I had to take my heat gun to it just to kind of finesse everything back in the right position. So let's see. I'll also show one other thing off here. Let me get this one piece in here, and then we'll. The other thing I finished masking off and painting was the main gun pod here. So this will go together like this. Now I still have to panel line this and everything, and I got to put the lens in here, but yeah, I got to do some painting here. This is going to be in a black or a darker gray. Pretty sure I'll probably do it in black. But so far, so good. I just used that Tamiya flexible tape for going around corners, and that's how I was able to mask that off pretty much in one shot. Made it easier anyway. So let's see. I don't think there's anything else. I did these here. These are all completely painted. They're not glued onto the wings or anything. I just, for the sake of being easier to carry around, I just put all those together. And then I've got once I get the colors down, finished, and then I'll start bringing out the pens and see which colors are going to look good to make that cell shading look. So this piece as well, the chest piece, put down the first color, and then I'll have to go in and mask all that off. And then this was another big portion that I finally finished here. I've sealed all these edges off. This is all glued in position. This still swivels because I want to make sure I can still adjust the back if I need to for room for the shoulder pieces that go in here, but I've got to mask all this off too, and then paint the rest of this in white. But that will be done hopefully the rest of this weekend, because tonight I got to pack a bag because I'm going to Portland for training on Friday, but I got to either come back and get my wife if she's going to go with me, or I'll be driving straight from work down to Portland. So I won't be able to work on this until Saturday when I get back. Just counting the days. I got limited time, and this is why I hate deadlines. I don't like doing deadlines, but said I'd give it a shot. So we'll see if I can make it. Wensler says hi. Oh, cool. My brother's in the house. Nate, are you at his house, David, or is he at your place? Are you guys doing a broadcast there, or recording, I should say, yourself? Just want to make sure this is covered up. I will be down Thursday night out in Portland, but it just depends on whether or not Maria's coming with me. We were on our feet a lot this last weekend, and so she's still deciding whether or not she wants to make the trip down with me. She may just want to stay home, so I'll let you know. I'll keep you in touch on that. That is the Orgus kit or third Robotech. Yeah, well, depends on which one which box you pick up. It is an Orgus kit, Tom, but if you're talking about the Revell Robotech Changers box, then it's a Robotech, but we all know it's Orgus. We're smarter than that. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna have to paint these interiors white as well before I put. It's a lot of little things, a lot of little layers to this whole thing that I got to do. So next up, I've got the arms done here. The legs are ready to paint, so I'm going to start on. Let's see. Basically fake Macross. Yeah, Yes, at his house. You're both welcome here at his place on Friday after your training. Nice. Okay. Like I said, she was planning to go. I'm hoping she still does, but there is a possibility that she may not. She may not, and I'll let you know. But I'll be down there regardless. And I'm also going to bring a nice bottle of that old wine with me. Like 2009, I think it was. I'll bring one of those with me. Let's see. George says, Tom, it's an Orgus kit, FYI. Third Robotech was Mospedo. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're talking about original, Harmony Gold Robotech. Yeah. Yeah, that was Mospedo, which is, again, another series that had nothing to do with Macross, but Harmony Gold just did their own thing. Yeah, so here is the Revell box. Now, this is in really sad shape, but you can see, straight ripoff from the Orgus series box. Yeah, but vintage nonetheless. So, okay, I got a choice here. I can start doing the head, or I can start doing the torso. I'm going to take this other piece. This is the old lower torso that I don't need anymore. I'm going to put that in the box with the Orgus kit because I will eventually build it, but I can do it in a different mode and be able to use it in its current form. So it won't go to waste. But I took your guys' advice and I went on Wise Guys Hobbies eBay page. They have a make an offer link or on their listings, and so I made an offer for less than what they were selling it for, and they accepted it almost immediately. It was pretty cool. So I think I'm going to work on this. I've got to leave this brown, but I want to leave a small border, basically the thickness of this plastic right here. I want to go down all the way around, so it kind of gives it that effect of a border. Rather than just coming up brown up to the white up against it there. Tom says, well, the HG was let to that idiot. Oh, The HT is what led to that idiotic confusion. Yeah, I suppose. So let's see. What's the best way to approach this here? I've got to. I think I'm going to use some of that Tamiya flexible tape again at one point for doing curves. So that seems to work really well for this kind of stuff. So but in the meantime, I'm going to finish off this area here. I think I just need. So I remember HT purchase Harmony Gold. Oh, you're talking about Harmony Gold, yeah. Purchasing the rights. Yeah. They were trying to get their hands in all of it. I, unfortunately, was not super familiar with the Orgus series. I didn't even hear about it until much, much later. And to be quite honest, I had all these Robotech Changers kits when I was a kid. I remember going to Kmart and buying them from Kmart. But back then, we didn't even know what Orgus was or Macross or anything. We just took it at face value that, oh, this must be what this is, you know. All right, I've got a couple pieces of 2mm wide of the Tamiya tape for curves here. So I'm going to just go ahead and might as well use them. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, it's basically this stuff here. It comes in several widths. I have it in 2. This is, excuse me, 3. And then I've also got a 5 and an insanely wide 10mm, which I haven't found a use for yet, but it was like one of those things. I was at a model show and I thought, oh, what's that? Sure, I'll buy it. Don't know when I'll ever need 10mm wide, you know, tape for curves, but hey, you never know. So I'm going to place this in a way that leaves me with just about a 1mm border. You see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to reposition this, but I want to leave just a little bit of a brown edge around here, or this is going to be white. So the brown will be behind that, but when I paint this all white, it will coincide with that line there. That's what I'm saying. Magazine 23 has Robotech film. What? How the hell are they going to string that out? Magazine 23, I don't even know what that is. One of the most hated companies. Yeah, I know. They're still being that way. I mean, they some of the stuff has become available, but they're really hanging on to their rights with, you know, the rights to these series for, I mean, just unreal. Okay. All right, so I got this up here. I'm gonna trim this off now. You see what we've done there. So now you see that little bit of a border. That's fine. That's what we want. I'm gonna do the other thing. Do the same thing on the other side. I have discovered too that these Godhand nippers work pretty well for trimming tape, especially this flexible stuff. It's really quite easy to cut. All right, stuff that in there like that. Then I'll just go back and mask out the rest with regular tape, but at least now I have Megazone. Oh, your phone auto-corrected on you? Megazone. I don't even know what that is either. So typically out of touch with some things. Just don't. I just come up to my room and build, I don't spend a ton of time reading stuff, but maybe I should. All right. Now if I can get this one to go around that curve just as nicely as the other side. That came out well. Sometimes it's about you gotta kind of play around it. You gotta stick it down and then gradually work on your curve until you get it just right. Tighter curves are obviously quite a bit harder, but the thinner the tape, it's a little bit easier to use. Okay. Tuck that in. All right, now I got both sides. It's unfortunate I started with being interested in the series first before the kits. Yeah. I mean, that's what most of us were introduced to. Japanese anime was Robotech. I mean, I don't remember Gundam. I know that might sound like blasphemy, but Robotech was it. That was what hooked me. That's what got me in. So you've never seen Megazone 23, Mike? You got to see it. No, I have not seen Megazone. Is it a TV show or is it a program? I mean, you tell me what. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So I don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, yeah, I'm all up for it, but if I don't know what it is. My exposure to anime is very different from normal American exposure. All I know of any of this is a few kits I've seen. Oh, yeah, you talking about Orgus, Nick? I think we'd share the same boat talking about Orgus. Yeah, because a lot of us never heard about Orgus. Let me get some more tape here. I need some 3mm. As soon as I can find the end of it. There it is. Come on now. Three-part OAV. Roger. Okay, now you got to tell me what OAV is. I mean, I'm not. Sorry, guys. I'm not savvy on the abbreviations. Sure, it's going to be really obvious when you finally tell me, but. Like Macross was exposed as Robotech here. Tenchigen 88 was Gigantor and the bird like Space Force. God, why does it do that sometimes when I click on a all way before your time. Yeah, well, I guess that's because we're old, Nick, and you're not. Piece here. I'm just trying to figure out how to best approach this whole. Nope. Can't overlap. Oh, almost pulled up my tape. Okay. LAB. See, I knew it'd be something stupid, right? Something obvious. But again, I don't know what it means and I don't know what it is until you tell me. It's like my stepson used to talk to me about hockey and use terms like that, abbreviations and stuff. And it's like, I'm a huge hockey fan, but come on, man. Sometimes you gotta just use your words, Oh, and Gundam Wing was a boy band. Got super large explosions. Direct to video sales. Oh, okay. Not a TV series. Gotcha. All right. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any comments, but as I got my head down here, sometimes I miss a few. Oh yeah, Speed Racer. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was probably one of my first as well. But when I think of space, ships and stuff like that, that's what I refer to when I say Japanese anime. Even though there was stuff like Speed Racer, yeah, but it was just a different genre. It was about race cars that did cool stuff. But I think it hooked everybody when you saw, you see like, oh, this ship, this aircraft transforms. And it's not Transformers. It's something different. And to me, it looked better than Transformers. I mean, Transformers was pretty revolutionary for its time. But when if you were to look at the animation, I think Japanese animators did a much better job. It's just my opinion. Bible. Or over 100 in case it got good God. Yeah. There you go. You guys just talk amongst yourselves, man, because I'm not going to know what the fuck you're talking about. No clue. And I'm just slapping tape down here too because I'm really trying to get through this. I know this is a necessary evil, but I have to get the paint done on this if I'm going to get this done. The next, the panel lining step is pretty quick, but now that I finally have all of the seams and stuff addressed, there's nothing else I need to do there. It's just a matter of getting the tape down on all this. If I remember that we were bird-like helmets. Oh, you're talking about Star Blazers? I think Tom's talking about Star Blazers. Yeah, I guess that was another early one. As far as like space, space battleship Yamato. That was another pretty cool one. I think the U.S. market called it Star Blazers. Battle of the Planets. Because the bird-like helmets, I thought that was Star Blazers. Thought it was. I could be wrong. Been wrong before. Not to mention, it's kind of warm in my room right now. We got some unusually. It started to get kind of rainy again. Weekend was beautiful, and then a little bit of rain for one day, and now it's right back to being humid and shitty again. Gotcha, man. Yes, that was what they were called. Star Blazers was Yamato. Oh, okay. So, all right. I got the back pretty much done. Now I just got to figure out. Actually, I got to do this. This is going to be an interesting challenge, is getting this inside mast off. I guess I could put I still got to be able to paint this lid, because this is going to come down and close on when you take the. I don't have the other piece on here, but you take this on. This comes down and kind of covers up the cockpit, and then attaches to that other piece. So I've got to. I left the canopy off, figuring it doesn't need to be there. It's going to be a closed canopy anyway, so I guess I could just try to, or I could actually overlap the tape and not even just push it down, just have it sticking up as like a stencil kind of thing. But yes, I'm doing cell shaded paint scheme, George. That is my plan. I am going to do that. So that is the answer to George's question, yes. I think I learned a lot from doing the other two kits I just did. So I think I'll use the pens as best I can for the most part, but if I can't actually draw on the cell shading, I'm going to use one of my little metal tins and put the paint from those pens into, just basically saturate the tip until it bleeds out, and basically use it as a palette, and then brush on those areas that I can't get the pen into, so it'll look more uniform. It should come out better. At least I'm hoping it will, but we'll see. All right, I guess I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. This is not going to be easy tucking this in here, but I think if I get it close to the edge, and if it overlaps a little bit and sticks up, that's okay. I don't have to push the tape down. I just need it to block anything from coming. Yeah, and then I can use my burnishing tool here to. Yeah. See, just like that. The tape's overlapping, but I can still paint this without getting any of that white paint into this brown area. I gotta reposition it though. Keeps turning on me. As soon as I go to push it down, there we go. All right. So I'm just going to leave that sticking up. Do my best not to press that down, because that way it'll still work. It'll still mask off the part that I want to stay brown, but it won't get in the way of the paint that I need to throw down for the white around it. Let's see if I can get the other side. Could you airbrush the cell shading? Possibly. I just think it would take an enormous amount of time that I don't have. I probably could. In fact, if I had more time, maybe that is the proper way to do it. I just saw the technique, the pens technique used, and I thought it worked out pretty well, especially for the Max Bataroid that I did. But I think doing an entire kit, airbrushing it, there's a lot of that's just a shit ton more masking than I think I'm prepared to do at this point, especially with only about 10 days of working time left that I have to do this before the deadline. I just don't have the time, and it sucks because I do feel like I'm being rushed. But once I get to a turning point where I know that, okay, now I know how long it's going to take me to get done, I think I'm okay. I just don't see that light yet at the tunnel. I'm still under the gun here, trying to get this done by the 17th. I think this is going to work out okay. I'm just going in there just enough to get a little bit of a lip of that tape up there, just to block off. I think you can airbrush cell shading, but it just requires a lot of patience. Yes, and masking. That's like I said, that's the part I don't have. I don't have time to do all that. Hand drawing it, I mean, it may not look as clean as an airbrush, but on the other hand, if you're going for a cell shaded look, it almost looks more like a hand drawn image because it is hand drawn on there. I'm going to try to keep the lines as clean as possible so it doesn't look just like a disaster, but I think if I can hand brush, because I did figure out from those last two kits that I know now I can put the paint in on a palette and use a brush and actually hand brush that paint on there, and it cleans up with normal paint thinner, lacquer thinner, whatever you want to use to clean your brushes out. I can use that and it works just fine. Okay, I think I got that pretty much done. It's just the tape sticking up and overlapping it, but then when I airbrush in this direction, I can get all this, I can paint all this without any of that bleeding through and getting into that brown zone. I can even leave this up too to kind of hold it there. Now I just got to get this top portion all this filled in. Yay. So much fun. How do my camera? I guess my camera's, I guess it is kind of off, isn't it? Wow. Let's go. Let's see here. Why is it so far over? Let's bring it back. Whoop, too much. There we go. That's a little bit better. Now I feel like I'm like working on one side or the other. Guess I've got a series anime backlog to catch up on, right? F-16. Oh gosh, yeah. Patlabor. I forgot about Patlabor. Series, tell me too much, right? Should be doing the perfect stuff to watch while you're taking care of your newborn. Yeah. That's a lot of anime. A lot to do. Well, I am out of wine, and that is a crying shame. I got home a little early, so I poured my glass a little early, and so that means I've run out. Oh, come on. Sometimes I get my tape down in there, and then it sticks to my tweezers and doesn't want to let go. I've also got to pick the right that's my wife sneezing in case anybody heard that. I'm sure that got on camera. I've also got to pick the right colors for the shading. I know I can use the gray that I've already used because the white color that I'm using for this kit is everything I've used on any Macross kit. Mr. Color number 316, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, 316. That's your basic Valkyrie color. The red is number 79, and that's same color you would use for any Hikaru kit. So I know that I can. One thing I did do with the red is there's no pens that or no colors that I have in those pens that really works well with red to make a darker red. So what I did is I took some of the brown and I mixed the red into it, so it became more of a reddish brown, and that worked well for shading any of the red stuff. Wine without wine. Yanks! Look out. Yeah, you did hear it. Neighbors would love Dumbine. Now let's see. Maybe I can get some of this flexible tape to work. We've got some 3 mil here. If I could tuck this in, maybe I can get it to tuck in all the way around. This is the part that takes a lot of patience because it's just getting the tape to do what you want it to do while effectively covering up what you want it to cover up. It's probably going to require some touch-up, but looks like it might actually work. Okay, that did work. I'm going to get another piece of the 3, though, so I can do the other side. So I need about, not much to do it. It's a little too long, but that's all right. All right. It's getting there. Come on, stay there. All right. I like it. That will at least tuck into those curved areas so now that I can take some straight pieces here and just anchor it all down over the top. Easier said than done. All those rivets I put in, it's making this very uneven. It's hard to stick. Hard to stick it down. Okay. I need a few more. I'm going to have to cut a few more of these pieces, but okay. I think I need to cut 1.5 here. Oh, okay, Tom's out. See you later, Tom. Sorry I missed that. Better late than never. Angel's in the house. How you doing, Angel? It's all good. It's all good. I'm just doing one of the most boring parts of any kind of project. Masking. Yay. It's actually going quite a bit better than I thought it would at this point, because this was one of those pieces that was just I thought might give me a headache. And this side is. Spoke too soon. There we go. Okay, getting there. Let's slice off some more pieces here. Julius, what is up, dude? Sorry I'm late. How you must all have be disappointed I wasn't here. Yeah, and the guy with the brand new newborn shows up first. You know, what's up with that? Guy who actually has an excuse not to be here at all rolls in first. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I appreciate you, Julius. No matter what time you show up, it's all good. Appreciate the support each and every week. You guys are allowed to miss a day here and there. I mean, come on, man. Can't be here every day. I mean, just like me, I gotta drive down to Portland tomorrow night, one way or another, whether I'm taking my wife with me or not. She's got to decide if she's going. But I'd rather be here building this, but got to do 1 day of training, which means I'm going to drive all the way down 4 hours, 4 hour drive just to do 1 day of training, turn around and come back. But I'll be staying at Nathan's house. Well, we'll be staying there. Wife goes at Nathan's house Friday night, so I don't have to drive back, because it's nothing like trying to drive home when you on Friday night during rush hour from Portland. Not fun at all, so I don't feel like doing that. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm staying down there. It's just much easier. Excuse me. Happy MFG. What kind of training? Subaru training. The automotive kind. This is for automatic climate control. Come on, get on there. All right, I think that's covered up enough. Maybe I'll just use all this up. Must be hands-on training, Zoom or Teams. Well, not really. It is hands-on. It's in a classroom environment, but it's, some of the courses we do are online stuff where we just have to watch a module and take a post test. But this one's in classroom, so we got to drive down. They have two training centers. They got another one in Shoreline, which I could do if the class was available there. I would just have to go, a few blocks away from my work. But in this case, I got to go to Portland. It's just the way it is. Most of the training is in Portland. There is an occasional one. Now they're starting to offer more classes in Shoreline, which would make it easier. But all right. So I think I was as far as I can go with this piece. I have to figure out. I think I'm just going to have to grab it here because I had it to two of the holes. Hopefully that doesn't scratch up my paint. Otherwise, I'll touch that up. All right, next up. Army training, sir. What movie is that from? That would be Stripes with Bill Murray. All the good ones, the classic. The Army training, sir. Army training, sir. You mean to tell me you finish your training on your own? That's the fact, Jack. Yeah, that's a great movie. All right, time to put down some more tape here. They did that to me when the prologue came out. Drive 6 hours for a one-day class. Wow. Subaru Tech, huh? 23 years. Nice. Yeah, well, I've had a mix of it all, dude. My first 2 years in dealership industry or dealership service was Honda. Then when I met my wife, I moved out to San Bernardino. Couldn't find any Honda work. Ended up at Mitsubishi for 14 years. Then the dealership I was at got bought out by Toyota to be their standalone Scion location back when Scion was a thing. And I worked for them for a couple of years until Lexus offered me a job, and I worked for Lexus for another 11 years. And now I'm with Subaru. Because it's an hourly store, and I just come in and work as hard as I can, and I get paid, plus bonuses, so it's nice. I don't have to worry about flat rate commission anymore. So done with flat rate commission. Flat rate commission sucks. It's great if you're young and you can work fast, and it's pretty cool. But when you're my age and you start slowing down, it's like can't work as fast as I used to. So it's nice to be able to come in, work at my own pace, and still make a decent living. And if I do get stuck on a job that requires a little bit of extensive diag work, I'm not losing my ass, because if you're flat rate commission, you're basically not getting paid until the job is done. Whereas if you're hourly, you are. Plus, we have production bonuses too, so it still incentivizes you to have better, higher production. But at least, like I said, if you're stuck on something, you're not getting reamed. Foreman gig. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, you've earned it, I guess, if you've done that many years. Should be a foreman at that point. All right, so I'm just doing a little bit of a little more masking here. Got about another 15 minutes or so before we're done here. I'm going to, I think I'll just slice these evenly down here. Whoops. That didn't work. I'm going to put that around. This is not going to work out. All right, I'm going to cut this in half. Well, good for you, man. Yeah, if you're a salary employee, that's great. Especially in the auto industry, it's the great part about it was the technicians that decided that. They asked them how they wanted to get paid. They basically said that we just want to be able to pay our bills, no matter what. And that was what they came up with. And it works. Doesn't work for everybody, but in this case it does. Good Lord. The floor there, it looks super interesting. I also see a really cool, good God, what do we got here? What's up, Sirius? I hope you have. Well, you do pretty good typing wise. If you can't speak English very well, it seems like you're doing just fine, Sirius. Good to have you. I appreciate it. Either way, it's good to have you here. All right. I'm going to do something similar that I did to the chest piece here. Is I'm going to run basically an imaginary line from here down to here. So there will be a slight border, as this is going to be white here. So at least there'll be a border there. It'll kind of finish that line off nicely, I think. And then I'll mask all this off up top, but and then of course all of this. But that way, when I paint this, you'll have at least a line. There'll be a nice, what they call that, transition line between the two. The color separation there. So flat rate is not going to be around much longer. Well, that's good. I mean, I'm fine with that. I did it for so many years. I've been doing this almost 32 years now. So I'm done. I'm too tired. And like I said, at this point in my career, I didn't want to change brands again. That was not my intention, but it was just the appeal of knowing that, hey, I can show up at work as hard as I can, and go home and know that I'm going to be able to support my family. I don't have to work. I can work at my own pace. The store has enough people to satisfy, enough senior masters to satisfy what Subaru needs in the store as far as that number. But so there's no big rush to get me to senior master status, but that's why I'm going to training. I mean, that's part of the process, is just to get that done. But at least I know that. And plus, the service manager was nice enough to pay me what senior masters make. Because that was my first question. Like, okay, fine, if this is what your senior masters make, what am I going to make? Because I'm not super certified at all. And she says, well, you got 32 years. I don't see why I can't pay you what my senior masters make. Done deal. That's all I needed to hear. All right, so I think we could go. I might need to use 2 mil, but I'm going to try the 3 here. I'm trying to get around this curve and be able to tuck this in next to, which I don't think it's going to. No, I'm going to have to probably use my curve tape. Unless the government changes the warranty model. Oh, no. Yeah. I know there's a big thing going on about getting manufacturers to pay more for warranty time. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see if Toyota can survive this new recall. It's not often you hear about a recall that's going to cost them in the billions. It's a nasty one. But that's what happens when you no longer use prototypes. You build an engine and you go, okay, this thing's great. Let's put it in the cars, and realize, oh, they didn't clean the engine blocks good enough. So now the bearings aren't liking all the extra casting and other crap that's going on inside. That new twin turbo V6 they using that replaced the V8 is now failing at an alarming rate. So they're having to recall them all. That's a lot of money. It's going to cost them a lot of money. I think I'm just going to pop this down. Straight down right there. Okay, I got a little bit of tape there, but that worked out better. I used that flexible curve tape, and that just tucked right underneath. There's a little bit of an air gap between these two panels, so it allows me to tuck that in there. I need another piece of the 2 mil though. Okay. I'll just cut off. I used to put it on my glass mat here, just like everything else, but I don't use it that much, so it just makes it easier just to clip off a piece as I go. Lost my roll. Okay. The V6 had casting sand linger in the post-manufacture. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, they've had issues with that engine since day one. I mean, I was at Toyota when that engine came out with the new Tundra, and they had wastegates going bad. This wastegate actuators are part of the turbo. You can't even replace it separately, and those were failing, and it seemed like it was always on one side. So I watched the shop foreman replace a few of those initially. I mean, it's kind of plagued him. It doesn't understand. It doesn't. I don't understand it either because that 8-cylinder engine they had was a great motor. I know. Maybe it's for cafe standards. I don't know why they had to change it. Why they had to get rid of it. But I went to that new engine and it's been nothing but issues. All right, we're looking pretty good there. I think I might be able to just get a couple of small pieces of this. This 2mm tape and just get in the corners behind those two little vents that I put in there. And that works. Okay. .57 was a beast. Yeah, it was. Even their 4.7's a nice motor. I mean, .57. I think I was more talking about the 4.7, but yeah, the 5.7 was a beast. Crap! Get in there. Okay, just a few more minutes, folks. I'll call this one a day. Later, fellas. See you later, Nick. Take care of that baby. Catch you next time. Thanks for coming, bud. Appreciate you. Doesn't affect the Corolla. No, it's only that the twin turbo V6. That's the only one that you got to worry about. Which I'm sure is going to roll over to the Lexus side too. The Lexus uses the same engine. Yeah, I just love it when a plan comes together. There'll be like times where you're trying to put a piece of tape in and it's just fighting you, and then there's other times where you go to plop it in there and it just falls right in place. I mean, that was awesome. Perfect. All right, let's see here. So I can go across the bottom here. Why not? Start slicing off more tape. Congratulations on the baby. Yes, sir. Yep. I say, have fun. Only because I'm done raising kids. It's time for grandkids maybe, but I'm not raising anymore. I'm done. When I submit the model kit entry, do I have to give the description of what my vision was when building? You talking about for the contest, Julius? Put that on screen here. I'm sure you can do whatever. You can put whatever you want in the description. The main thing is that you have 10 different photographs. I mean, that's the important part. You don't want any more than 10, but yeah, I don't think it would be wrong to tell, particularly Zach, hey, this is what I was trying to do. I mean, if anybody wanted to see what I've been doing, they can just watch the videos or look at my posts. But I'm not doing any. You don't have to do it. I guess you can also even do whip pictures as well, but it's really not necessary, according to Zach. But would it help your entry? It might. I mean, if you wanted to, if they have an better understanding as to why you did what you did, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I don't think it would hurt. I mean, George might know. He's a judge. And George would know if he's still in the room. Whether it's necessary, right? I don't think it's necessary, to be honest. But unless you think there might be some confusion, or maybe there's, if you think like, hey, this is going to help my scores based, because of the concept or whatever like that, yeah, go for it. I would say absolutely do that. All right, 7:20, folks. Looks like we're running out of time here, so I got to keep plugging away on this. I've got still got quite a bit of masking to do, but we're moving along. I'm almost ready to start another wave of paint here. On the arms here, I'm going to do the black first, then I can mask these off. Then I'll do the white, which will come all the way up to the front of the forearm here, and then I'll mask off this part and do the red on the ends, and that will take care of the arms. Legs, same thing. I'll paint the black stripes first, then mask those off. It's just easy to put a strip of tape down in those recesses. Do that, and then the brown's already painted on the knee portion here, so all I got to do is paint all the white all the way around. Mask off these vents and repaint those. The chest, I think, will be probably the hardest part, because this has got to be black. This little triangle piece is black. There's a black stripe across here. The top is red. The rest is white. So it's going to be quite a few layers of masking going on there. And I still got to mask the head too. So anyway, let's go back to. So we're looking at the whole mess here. Oh, one of the things I did do, and I didn't talk about this, was with this new waist piece here, the polycaps that were inside had some free play. So when you push the legs in, it would push the polycap to the back. So you can never get the leg to fully go in. It would always have a little bit of free play. So what I decided to do was, before I assembled these, because these square pieces were actually two halves, and then the polycap inside. So what I did is I used some plastic strip here, this really thin stuff, and I actually put in 4 pieces behind those polycaps. So now the polycap is forced to stay forward, so I can insert those those hip pins all the way in, and there won't be any slop there. So that was one of the improvements I was able to do when I rebuilt this the waist piece. So anyway, guys, let's get going out here. All right. Whew, it's kind of warm in here. Thanks for joining in again. I appreciate each and every one of you every single week. You along this journey, you guys hang out with me, and we discuss the hobby and techniques, and that's what we do, share our experience, and hopefully somebody out there will benefit from it. And anyway, so be good humans, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Tell your friends, please. Help me out. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell, that little reminder bell. That'll help let you guys know when I go on every week. I try to get on here at least every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's been busy. And then also later this month, I'll be going in for surgery. So there will probably be a week, maybe 2, that I don't do a show, but that'll be after the contest. So I'm trying to gear up. I'm trying to get this whole thing done for the contest entry. And then after that, I got to take a break for recovery. But anyway, we will talk to you guys soon. Anyway, check it out. Take it easy. Oops. Let's go to brand and catch you on the flip.